What's happening, Wargamers? Welcome to another episode of The Dossier, the show where we talk about Marvel Crisis Protocol characters and give you our hot potato takes on them. These opinions do not matter, and you are only here because you're either supporting the channel or you're interested. You want to hear what my takes are on these characters. So either way, thank you so much for watching. We're gonna take a look at Ulik today, and I think a lot of people's response was probably the same as mine when he got revealed with the Beta Ray box, Bill box. And I was like, who? Apparently he is one of Thor's oldest adversaries, and he is a rock troll. And frankly, I think he's kind of a cool model. I would not really have expected much from him, but he was kind of interesting. So let's take a look at the model itself. And as you can see, he's on a medium base, but he is beefy. He takes up a good chunk of that base. He's got not the most dynamic pose. It's just kind of like that holding back, getting ready to punch things sort of thing. I do like the tactical rock down here. It's just looking crushed in. There's a lot of really good texture on him between the fur on his shoulders, his hair, the down here as well. The scale mail, really nice texture as well. Even the musculature is really well done. He was overall just kind of a joy to paint. I had a lot of fun with him, and I was not anticipating that on this model at all. Very easy to assemble, very imposing model as far as he is on the table itself. Lots of really great details. Like even the face, I don't know how well it's showing up on here, but even the face has some good detail on it. So overall, I had fun. I think he's a great model. I don't think he's anything phenomenal, but I mean, as far as AMG models go, he's doing the trick. He looks good on the table, looks imposing, and yeah, he's definitely a rock troll. So yeah, that's the Ulik model. Let's take a look at the card itself. So we have Ulik. He is a 4/3/4 for his defensive profile, 7 stamina, 5 threat, size 3, medium movement. So as you can see, he is a beefy boy. We have a physical attack in Pounders, which is a range 2, 6 dice attack for 0 power, energy equal to damage dealt, or power equal to damage dealt, I should say, with a wild push, and it is a size 4 push. So he's going to be pushing everyone but Sentinels and Dormammu around. That sort of movement is always really good when you can displace people that way. We have another physical attack with Shatter Mountains, Shatter Bones. It is a range 2, 9 dice attack physical for 5 power. After this attack is resolved, the target character gains Stagger. For those at home, Stagger is the first action a character takes with this condition. They have to shake the Stagger. It is always great to Stagger somebody because that just messes with any sort of action economy. They also have a Shatter trigger for crit, wild hit, and skulls. After this attack is resolved, instead of inflicting the Stagger special condition, if the target character does not have an activated token, you may give it an activated token. Awesome. When you're rolling 9 dice, you have a really good chance of getting all 4 of those. I think the guys over at Xavier Protocols probably have done the math on this. It's really cool. Now, granted, with 9 dice, you also run a really good odds of just blanking out the character. Either way, I think it's a win in my books. You have an active power, Bad Manners for 3 power. Choose an interactive terrain feature of size 4 or less, and within range 2, throw it medium. You can use this once per turn. A size 4 throw? Yeah. Always going to take a size 4 throw. That is fantastic. The downside, it's only terrain. You're not throwing characters this way, which does kind of suck a little bit, but still, being able to clear out some of that terrain from the board is just really solid. We also have another active power in Crushing Leap. This one is an action. This character makes a short advance. Then this character is placed within range 2 of itself. Then this character may make a Pounders attack. This is all for 3 power. Basically, this is in lieu of a charge. Now, what's really cool about this is that a short advance with a range 2 place on a medium-sized base does account to more than long movement. So he is deceptively fast. If he has the 3 power for it, he's going to be charging in there. And with a 6 dice builder, he is going to be getting power back, which is really kind of cool. Especially considering that once he's within range, I mean, he's going to be within range for his Pounders and Shatter Mountain, Shatter Bones. So, he's got some great tech to kind of get those double hits off there. I've had this used against me, and my goodness, is he just all over the board. So yeah, definitely something to keep an eye out for. We also have an innate power, Trollish Temper. During the power phase, this character gains 1 additional power. So Yeah, this is really super. He doesn't have a whole lot he's spending his power on. I don't know how often you're going to be using Shatter Mount and Shatter Bones, because I think you're really just spending a whole bunch of power to like Crushing Leap all over the place and then Bad Manners. This is going to make sure he gets to those points a lot faster, because he's gaining 2 a round as long as he's not stunned. And those pounders are just going to be picking up a bunch more power for it as well. And then we have Troll Hide. When this character would suffer damage, reduce the amount suffered by 1 to a minimum of 1. So don't have to pay for it, which is really nice. And that extra 1 it's basically like a free defense, extra defense to it. This is really super. I mean, damage reduction is always a nuisance to deal with whenever you're trying to get through it. Especially considering you have to be very mindful of the different sources. If you have different sources dealing that damage, it's potential that you can be reducing a little bit more than you anticipated. So he's going to be really hard to get through. On his injured side, nothing changes. He still has that beefiness to him. He is quite an interesting 5-threat. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it at the end, though. We have Rock and Troll for his card here. It's an unaffiliated active card. Ulik may spend 3 power to play this card. Ulik drops all objective tokens he's holding, then plays Ulik within range 5 of his current position. Oh man, with this and Crushing Leap, he gets around. Like, this is a disturbing amount of mobility that he has here. Yeah, if you're bringing Ulik, I think you're just bringing this card just in general, because it's going to allow him to get back into the fight very quickly, very easily. You can't sleep on him. He's going to be able to cause a lot of problems for you. And I mean, I played him in a game, and he definitely caused problems for me, because this was able to get him into a position where, he just threw a couple ground pounders at me, and it's hard to come back from a bunch of 6 dice attacks when he starts getting all that power. Yeah, I think this card is almost virtually staple to him, because I think it's a really good card for him. It turns a very aggressive piece into just a scary aggressive piece. So where does that leave Ulik overall? Well, Ulik himself at 5 threat, sorry about that movement, at 5 threat, he is in a very coveted spot. It's very hard to splash 5 threats. He's only affiliated in Cabal and Criminal Syndicate. And, Cabal has a whole bunch of people. Criminal Syndicate already has a very expensive set of characters as well. I think, generally speaking, he's probably contending for the spot that's usually taken up by Juggernaut or Rhino. I don't know how often he wins that spot over them. I think Rhino, with this as a robbery, just brings a little bit more utility to the game. And I think Juggernaut just brings a little bit more of a varied kit to the game as well. Whereas Ulik very much feels like he's kind of just pure aggression. He's going to run in, he's going to punch a whole bunch of things, and kind of call it a day on that one. Which, it's not to say that that's bad. I think Ulik definitely gets some work done as a result of that. But I think you're very telegraphing what he wants to do. He's not as susceptible to control for 2 reasons. One, he's size 3, so not everyone's going to be able to throw or push him. But more importantly, he's got so many ways of getting back into the fight. His Crushing Leap, his Rock and Troll. If you displace Ulik, yeah, he might have to spend some power to use those abilities to get back to where he needs to go. But he's going to have that power. I mean, you look at his card, and he doesn't have a whole lot to spend power on. He's got his Spender attack, which I don't think you're using all that often. I think you're using his utility abilities a lot more than his Spender. So he's going to be hard to really kind of displace without concerted effort. Like, sure, maybe a Strange Supreme or a Shuri can just kind of push him or scalp him into obscurity, or if you have ways of moving him around, throwing him away, it's going to be really good. I don't know how he really holds up in the 5-on-5 sort of slot. Like, I think there's other 5 threats that can really do a number on him. Although between his Troll Hide and his defensive stats, I think he can definitely stay in the fight longer than a lot of other people would really want him to. We have started seeing more characters with damage reduction pop into the game, because obviously he has it, Rhino has it, Beta Ray Bill has a form of it. So yeah, just in the past couple months, 3 characters with that damage reduction kicking around, and that is never to be discounted. Like, the damage reduction can quite often really disrupt a series of attacks. So it's always important to pay attention to that. But that is Ulik. Sound off in the comments below. Where do you think he goes? Who do you think he's contending with? And just in general, what do you think of Ulik as a character, as a 5 threat in the game of Crisis Protocol? And yeah, I shared my potato opinion. I want to hear your potato opinions. And of course, if you are interested in supporting the channel a little bit more, hit up that link to the Patreon in the description below. Any support is super helpful, and I appreciate you greatly for that one. And even if you're just watching, thank you so much for that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and happy wargaming.